It's 3 a.m. We're on our way to work. We're on our way to play again. So this video, once again, is about discovering who we are, who you are, that we are all each other, just having fun playing. You know, life is not as serious as what we make it, as we take it. You know, most of the things that we chase in life are superficial, things that don't matter, that won't change us. And the more we consume, the more we deprive the spirit, the more we feel empty, the more we have, because you already essentially have what you are looking for. Happiness is not a pursuit, and the minute it becomes a pursuit, it will forever evade you because it is already yours. And the faster you pursue it, the faster it gets away from you, until the next thing you know, you blink and you're 40 or 50 years old and have never experienced happiness, true happiness to your core, because we've never figured out or discovered who we truly are here. And that's just it. Our sovereignty awaits us. Buddhas don't need the news, they don't need governments, they don't need anything or anyone to tell them what is happening or what is going on. We don't look to the news or to books or to videos or to anything to tell us what is going on or what is happening, or even to tell us who we are. Because once you know who you are to your core, you can never pretend to not know again. You can never go back into a sleep where you're pretending to be a human. I had a comment yesterday where this young lady asked, you know, are you saying that the preservation of humanity is pointless? And yes, I am saying that what we're fighting to preserve, this entity we're fighting to preserve, we have never been, and we are not. That is why we have never found its origin, its starting point, anything. We have found things to fit our narrative and bring order to chaos, but chaos is our truest nature. And that's why you can never, there's nothing to hold on to, essentially. Everything slips away into time except for one thing, and that is the eternal witness, the eternal flame that is within you now. And there is no government, no system, no anything that can take that away from you. And when you know, you know. And this is one of Jesus or Yeshua, whichever name you prefer. This was his most powerful message, is you can strike my body and you can try and attempt to torture me to tell me who I am. But essentially, you'll never penetrate into the core of this presence, of this being, because when you know, you know. And when you understand that other people are not actually other people, it's a game changer, because that means every entity, every label, every title that you have projected out of the mind has only been experienced and seen through the mind itself. These entities that we call and these titles that we call people do not exist, and that is why no one is actually dying here. When you lose your mother or your father, you don't lose your mother or your father. You have lost the title mother or father, which you have projected outside of yourself into a form. But all form, including your very own, is bound to disappear, is bound to deconstruct. It's inevitable. You are inevitable. So while we are in the form, we have a chance to taste infinity, to taste eternity, and to drink this elixir, to understand who we truly are here. And we don't understand the magnificence, the power of knowing who we are. Because once you know who you are in alignment with the divine, with the Most High. And the divine is perfect. It needs no correction. It needs no balancing. It is the ego. It is our human entity within us that we think we are, that's telling us we must balance out something here, or fix something here, or correct something here. But this is because we do not already understand that we are divine, we are perfect. Nature in itself is already in a perfect harmonious balance. The only entity here that is unbalancing this presence is your humanness. is what you are thinking you are, who you are assuming you are. And that's why we are out of sync with our ancestors, which are here now through you. We're out of sync with nature and the cosmos, and we're always lost and looking for direction and guidance because we do not understand the magnificence of who we are here. But understand, the I that we speak through does not exist. So if you are saying, I understand, but I want to know this, but I want to learn this, I want to integrate this, who the I is that wants to learn or integrate or understand this does not exist. And that is where we can begin to experience an ego death, is begin to start collapsing your words in on themselves, and you'll see that all these words are empty, truly beyond your mind, this entity within you that speaks. This mind is what's shaping the words and being projected outside of you. So you're not actually experiencing the objects around you. You've only experienced yourself. You've only experienced your beliefs and your words, which are shaping the entire thing. And that's just my point. That is our power. That is our sovereignty. We don't understand just how powerful we are. And I understand a lot of people's anger, because a lot of people are ready and willing to fight the government through physical means. And this is where everybody will be shut down and die a very vicious death, because you can never fight yourself in that mirror. You will lose every time. The most powerful thing you can do here is know yourself. And again, fixing the corrupt is not our job, is not our mission. The corrupt will inevitably be revealed. The corrupt will inevitably disappear and vanish, because who or what these corrupt people, and it doesn't matter the name, there's corrupt people everywhere, but who and what they are, they seek to control and own the material world, which is bound by appearance and disappearance. And so if this is what they wish to own, if this is what sovereignty for them is, let them have it. And understand that this is not richness, this is not wealth, this is not any type of spiritual knowledge which you cannot attain. The corrupt will always inevitably wipe themselves out, because you cannot go against nature. Nature is in balance, and all dark will come to the light inevitably. It is not our mission to bring this to light. It will come on its own. And that's where you can understand you are sovereign. Everything is already taken care of. Who is speaking through you in your mind as I does not exist, which means you don't need to try to connect to God. We're so terrified of letting go of who we think we are to actually step into the light and be God's. We're terrified, because what that brings about is our truest potential. No longer can we pretend that we can try to be something perfect or whatever. And when I say perfect, I don't mean that you will not fail, because there is perfect divinity in failure as well. There is divinity in all things. But we only identify or want the feel-goods, the good feelings and the lovey-dovey feelings and all of it. But a Buddha understands that the good, the bad, and the ugly are the divine expression, all of it. So people, and again, I understand the anger that comes with me telling people that the government is not their enemy. And I've even been called a psyop, or people think I'm a government agent or something, and it's ridiculous. This shows you just how far people are willing to go with their minds, but this just proves a point. I'm an average Joe. I go to work. I work 40 hours a week, but people think I'm being paid by the government to tell people certain things, which is, again, it's hilarious. But that's how far the mind can go. That's the power of the mind. What you believe is directly what you will experience and see. However, what appears through that mirror, which is your screen to your own consciousness, What appears through this mirror begins and ends with who you believe you are. So if you believe you're a victim here and there's an entity out here trying to kill you each and every day through the air you breathe, the food you eat, the drinks you consume, etc., 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 then you are going to create and manifest and live in your very own hell, where not all people are experiencing or seeing this, and that there's a fundamental reason as to why. Because we can all look at the same thing and not have the same experience or see the same things, because again, it is the mind. And that's what the Matrix, the spoon boy, was trying to tell Neo. Do not try and bend the spoon, it is impossible. Instead, only realize the truth. There is no spoon, there is no government. Then you'll see that it's not the spoon that's bending, it's only yourself. Then you'll see that it's not the government you're fighting, it is only yourself. Fighting is pointless, it's meaningless. Fighting is no different than suicide, which is basically what you are committing yourself to when you begin to fight yourself through the mirror. Because we don't understand the magnificence of our nature, and that we are omnipresent, which means you are alive in each and every incarnation and form around you. And even in the formless, you are still there in your presence. You are omnipresent, you are all-pervading, which means there is no place or space without your presence. Where your presence goes is where everything begins and ends, and even goes beyond. Your presence is the traceless, is the formless, is the nameless. But we cannot accept that because it terrifies us. Chaos frightens the ego because the ego cannot exist in chaos. But again, the ego does not even exist. Chaos is our truest face because chaos represents infinity. And again, so many people talk about wanting to connect to infinity or understand infinity, but what we don't understand is that once you look into infinity, into eternity, into your presence, this presence devours all of your beliefs and all that you think you know. And all those beliefs begin and end once again with who you think you are. But once you look into this presence and understand this presence from within yourself, you will see that no one is actually birthing or dying here, because we are this presence which is. Which means when I die, I will transform into another form. Forever. And Alan Watts has talked about this too, but to be in one place forever, as one thing, would be an incredible bore. And that's one thing that never resonated with me with religion, is the fact that they tell you you will either go to heaven or hell for eternity. But most people don't think about what eternity looks like or is. But that drove me mad as a kid. How can we possibly stay in one place forever and ever? It's madness. But this is where I tell you, you are God, and you've already thought of all these things because you are perfect. You could not perfect what already is. So you couldn't do it any better. So understand, life and death, this cycle is in perfect harmonious balance already, and it is the most perfect design, which you could not even dream up a more perfect design. You could not even attempt to create something more perfect than what already is. And this is another thing that terrifies us, is the fact that the here and now is the only place there is the only thing there is. Most people will not accept that. Surely there must be somewhere else. And again, surely there must be someone else, which is why we scour the microscopic atom and the macrocosmic universe to find any trace of someone else. But everything goes back to the all-seeing eye, the presence which is forever. And again, it's not changing, it's not traveling beyond itself, it always is here now, as this moment, as what we call this moment. And if you'll notice, all things that are in a form are bound to transpire, which means go through this moment to be devoured, only to reconstruct itself over again. So nothing is actually dying or lost, because there is only one witness here, and that witness cannot be touched, cannot be unbalanced, cannot be harmed. And this is what you are. This is who you are. And when you have this understanding, you are home at any point which you are at any place which you are at, because every place is in the back of your eyes. You don't need to go to a mountain or escape society to discover this happiness and bliss, because it's already yours at any which point. Because all points are the same one, are the eternal, are the all-seeing eye, are the one witness, which is. We are the game changer, and we don't even realize it. We don't even realize the magnitude of what's contained right within us. We always tell ourselves, surely there has to be more here. Surely there has to be more to life than this. And there is, but we're missing it. We're missing the state of heaven. Heaven is not a place. It is a state which can be achieved through you once you begin to understand who you truly are here. Then heaven can shine forth. Then we can begin to experience heaven from within ourselves. Then we can begin to experience heaven and create. But I love you guys. I love you gals. Thank you. Thanks for subscribing. If everyone has any questions, feel free to message me, inbox me on here or my Facebook channel, Tyler Ugalde, Ugalde. But other than that, I'm about to go into my work. Once again, gonna make it a great day. And remember, work can be play when you truly understand who you are and where you are. And my favorite quote is, the same space that fills where I call my job is the same space that fills where I call my home. Because home is the presence which is always with you. How I feel at home is how I will feel at work, and vice versa, because these places only exist and take place within my mind, from behind my eyes. And what I call this place will be projected outside of my eyes and shape itself in accordance. So most people think of work as ugly, boring, miserable. I'm being enslaved, I'm being forced. But there is meaning behind jobs, behind work. It brings you passion, it brings you commitment. It brings you a lot of things that we would otherwise not know what to do with ourselves. It gives you meaning. It makes you feel good when you work hard at the end of the day and you're able to go back home. But once again, work can be home, work can be play, work can be fun. It can be what you make it. Have a great day, everybody.